This is my 1977 Corvette. I bought this car on June 12th, 2016. It had no engine in it. It was just the body. Transmission was still attached. Everything was there. It's just the engine was pulled out back in the 80s because I believe the previous owner overheated the engine. It didn't have the air dam underneath the car, so it basically ran hot and cooked the motor. So they pulled the engine out in the late 80s, I think it was, and it sat there until 2016 in a barn when I bought it. I brought this thing home. I had a buddy of mine flatbed it.
Mikey, wave to the camera. Or just stare at it.
And I found a 350 small block out of a 72 Impala from a buddy of mine, and we cleaned it up, threw it in the car, and got it running. Now, when I purchased this vehicle, I wanted to do a lot of videos on it, showing the restoration of the car, and I was very inspired to make a lot of videos on it. Unfortunately, we all live very busy lives, and unfortunately life has gotten in the way of my ability to be able to make a video or a video series on this car. Today that's going to change. I decided, since I bought the car, the paint was in really rough shape, and I thought it'd be time to give it a paint job. Problem is that every place that I've called to have the paint job done are charging well over $10,000 to do it. I think that most shops don't want to do it because it's fiberglass. So luckily I work with somebody that has some experience with painting, and he offered to help me out on painting the car. So it's going to go back to the same color, and I'm starting to sand everything down. The whole point of owning this car was to tell a story. And unfortunately, for 5 years now, I haven't told any sort of story on this car. And it's been my passion to want to make videos on this and share my experiences with all the repairs that I've done and all the blunders that I've made. I've done a lot of work to it, and there's a lot of footage out there. I just haven't had the time to edit it. So that's all going to change today. And I hope you'll join me on my journey of restoring this car to relatively stock condition. There's a few modifications. Obviously, it has a 5-speed in it now instead of a 4-speed manual. These cars, most of them came as an automatic transmission. There was only 9,000 of this year, of the 49,000 that were built with a manual. So it's really cool that it has a manual in it. However, it screams on the highway, so I ended up putting a 5-speed T5 out of a Mustang. What? Yeah, stay tuned for that. The problem is I started working on that video and it never ended up coming together because it was just so long and it's not concise enough, but I want it to be informative for all the people out there that may want to try this on their own car. So the first video that I'm going to do is going to be taking these headlights out. I'm going to be repairing the front headlight brace, and I will show you that here in the next clip. So as you can see, the front headlight brace has been popped up so far that you can see this large gap between the front headlight brace and the hood. So this causes a large gap up front here, where when you go to lift the headlight up, it ends up hitting right there. So I can't even get this up until I push down here to get the headlights up. So my plans are to paint the car, but obviously I don't want to paint it when I have to get the headlights out, mangle up everything to try to fix this headlight brace. So that's the main priority. You can already see how badly the paint, I think we're down to the fiberglass actually. So yeah, the paint is in really, really rough shape. And when I mean rough, it's rough to the touch. I mean, the whole car is like this. It's one of those 40 or 50 footer cars, you know. You look at it from a distance, and that's about it. You start coming close, you go, what the hell is that? Obviously the interior is in decent shape. We're gonna have to do the seats. We already started sanding down the T-top here. As you can see, the paint was pretty bad. So that's gonna be the top priority to get this car painted. I hope you'll join me for this series. Please leave a comment, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll catch you in the next video.